Hello there, we are here once again with Not.online. It's Filippo, and very kindly, these Voiceless for the Anonymous, or is it?
Anonymous for the Voiceless.
Anonymous for the Voiceless is a campaign which is running every single month in Nottingham, which is to highlight suffering of animals in the pharmaceutical industries and the food industries and things like that.
Dairy industry, etc.
Yeah, and of course it is a very noble cause, but as anyone who watches my channel would know that, I do like to mix a bit of kindness and progressivism with practicality. And so in a practical world, in a pragmatic world, what would the ideal situation be for you economically and providing every individual, with things in the cupboards and stuff like that to eat? How could we implement that system economically with your ideals?
Some of the poorest people in the world, in Africa in particular,
or
vegetables.
Eat vegetables.
A lot of the time that is their staple diet, and they will argue, obviously they have very little disposable income, and we're more focused on the injustice of 3 trillion animals being killed every year for meat, eggs, dairy, etc. And we believe they have a right to be heard. They have no voice of their own. Most people don't know the truth of their food and their origin of their food, and we are here to give them that voice and to give people the truth.
Yeah, of course, and the truth is a horrible reality, and I'm not going to deny that animals deserve to be treated with respect, and the way that they're killed and the way they're treated and the way they're kept isn't good. The conditions aren't good. I would never justify the conditions that I've witnessed, like you say. However, when we have to make hard decisions in the world, a bit windy, I might wait for the wind. When we make hard decisions in the world, we have to make hard decisions, don't we? If you had to choose between living and eating an animal, I know it sounds dead childish, this sort of scenario.
But that's a futile argument, isn't it?
Well,
by definition, we're not in that position.
No, of course you're not. No, of course not.
And the hunter-gatherers of years ago didn't have a choice.
Yeah, of course, but the way the economy has been built is not through a determination to be cruel to animals. It's through a necessity of need for human beings. We've had to supply poor people with eggs every single morning for a reasonable price. They haven't decided to do it. They are just trying to help these poor children who are in poverty, who need their mothers, or single mothers, cannot afford to go and buy vegan food. They cannot afford to have the time to go and grow in their garden. They have not got the knowledge or the financial stability to indulge in such progressive luxuries as dictating to the world about how they should treat animals. I believe that the current system provides for so many people that are poor, and your system would leave a lot of people starving. What do you want to say about that? Sorry? So the animals are more important than children?
No, they're as equally as important.
Equally as important, so everyone must live. Nothing can die on the planet. Nothing can die.
If you want to say and have a shout, have a shout. I'm not going to feed your offspring of your publicity, okay?
No, but my argument's a fair argument, isn't it? Do you think it's not a fair argument? It is a fair argument.
What are you comparing it to?
Pardon?
What are you comparing it to?
What am I comparing it to?
What do you think the alternative option is?
No, I'm asking you what the alternative is. I'm quite happy with the economy, supply and demand. Because if people weren't poor, they wouldn't have to lower the prices.
Animals has to run the economy? Why do you think the production and abuse of animals is the only thing that can supply the economy? You don't think there's any alternative?
Of course there are alternatives, but in practical reality,
we've not explored them
we haven't
enough,
got time. We haven't got time. People haven't got time to grow their own food.
We've been on this planet millions of years. We've got time,
and
we're gradually doing it. So instead of eating meat, we could grow pea protein, couldn't we? So those people rearing animals could start growing peas, and we could eat pea protein.
Okay.
And then that would be a good source of protein.
What if I don't want
to
eat pea protein?
Well, have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I have tried it. Yeah, peas are
What
very
have you
nice.
tried?
I love vegetables. I eat lots of vegetables.
No, you've not tried pea protein products. Have you tried green cuisine? Meat burgers, they taste just like
meat. In the production of those products, the price increases, does it not? Would you not agree that vegan food is more expensive than normal food?
Some is, some isn't.
Okay, what is it?
No, some meat. Well, I haven't bought meat in years, but chicken. No, I would disagree. Meat is actually more expensive in many cases.
Does it take longer to cook vegan food?
No,
it does.
It doesn't. It takes less time.
It takes longer to prepare.
It takes 10 minutes.
You have to bake, and you have to cut, and you have to peel.
You're not talking from experience, are you?
I am.
You're not.
I am.
Because you know
I do
that's
cook.
not the case,
I do cook.
right? I have a green pea protein burger and it takes 10 minutes in the grill. And I flip it over, and it's quicker than a real burger. And the good thing is you don't have to make sure it's absolutely cooked through because of bacteria and stuff. You can eat it from the freezer.
I mean, I've got nothing personally against anybody wanting to save anything's life. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a very, noble thing to do. And I love animals. I've got loads of cats. I've got Bengals. I love animals. You know what I mean? And I would hate to think that they will be being treated bad in any kind of way, or any animal. But unfortunately, in the wild, in nature, animals do get treated bad by other animals, don't they?
Yeah.
So a tiger, or anything, even a chihuahua can go and tear up.
They also rape each other as well, and they also kill their underdogs.
Of course they do.
And
so do humans.
They walk away from
so do
those
humans.
that can't thrive.
So do humans, don't they?
Should we do that?
But so do humans, don't they?
We should rape each other and leave the underdog.
I'm saying that there are simple facts, not even simple facts yet, very observable evidence, that the way that the ecological and the ecosystem is feeding upon the lower orders of the animal system with predators, and you've got all different kind of hierarchy, haven't you? And unfortunately, for everyone else below the human animal on this planet, we are the dominant species. So therefore, we are animals. So we must survive. And how would you ask any animal?
In a jungle with the lion, think that you're the dominant species.
How could you ask any animal?
You're the dominant species. If you're naked in the jungle, would the lion decide that you're the dominant species?
You would find out soon enough that I am.
I don't think it would.
No, I think it would eat me up alive.
Yes, I think they would.
I think it would.
So we're not necessarily top of the food chain, are we?
Well, are you assimilating being the top with muscular strength rather than intelligence?
Intelligence. It's often down to intelligence and muscular strength, isn't it? And how sharp your teeth are, and how big your fists are.
And what do tigers eat? What do tigers eat?
They'll eat probably anything.
And that's why they're the best.
Oh, they're the best. They're the best now, are they?
So that's why. So you're endorsing, a meat-eating animal.
So herbivore animals are shit, are they?
So it's okay for an animal to eat meat, but it's not okay for another animal to eat meat.
Well, lions don't use the internet either, do they? We're supposed to be a little bit better.
I'm sorry, we're not talking about the internet. We are talking about what is right and wrong in your opinion. In your opinion, you're saying that it's wrong for us to treat animals bad for our consumption, because you think it's fundamentally wrong to treat anything wrong just purely for our consumption, because we can eat something else. The tiger can eat something else. The tiger can eat something else. It doesn't. It chooses to eat meat, and it eats meat, and that's why it's the best in the jungle.
I don't know if the tiger can.
Why can't?
I think they are.
Why can't you respect another animal's choice to eat meat, and why are you only picking humans' behaviour? Why don't you go and tell tigers not to eat meat?
You were raising your voice at me.
I know, sorry, go on. I'm sorry.
You're inviting me to argue.
I'm sorry,
with you,
I'm sorry. Yeah, you are right, sorry.
You can do what you like. I'm not going to force you to change.
I'm only embarrassing myself, not
but
you.
I just want to let people know that there are plenty of other alternatives out there. We're technically we're omnivores, but that doesn't mean to say we have to eat everything.
Okay, so how are we going to get these pea proteins to every single school, and where is it grown, and how is it packaged, and how is it delivered?
Well, peas are grown everywhere, aren't they? Peas are grown. I'm from Lincolnshire, and peas are grown everywhere. I used to work in a pea factory in the summer.
I'll be in an allotment on Monday.
What, sorry?
I'll be in my friend's allotment on Monday.
Right.
I'll be doing.
So peas are pretty easy to grow. We know that.
I grew up in a household where we grew our own fruit and veg and wine and figs. You know what I mean? Any sort of variety course, I know how to do it all. Cucumbers, you know what I mean? All different kinds of things. Gooseberries, chickpeas, we've grown it all. Fennel, you know what I mean?
Chickpeas, they're really
tomatoes.
good source of protein.
Yeah, that's my favourite.
And
cannellini beans as well. I like those as well. Avocados, I can't live without them. So I'm definitely for a varied diet. But what I'm not for is somebody being demonised because they like me.
I haven't demonised anybody.
No, you haven't. But you said that if we... But I mean, these sort of pictures are bringing a reality to my.
It's reality.
It is reality. It is reality.
We have reality television everywhere. Why shouldn't we have reality about what goes on before it gets to our plate?
Yes, of course.
Don't you think we should know?
No, I do agree. I mean, I've never made up my mind about anything. You see, if I find some new information, I might become a vegan. But it just doesn't seem economically viable for me, because I need protein in a short amount. I don't want to eat a whole bowl of peas when I can just eat a steak.
You don't eat bowls of peas. I don't eat bowls of peas. I tell you what I eat, right? I eat, and I prefer it to meat.
Yeah.
I eat pea protein, so that's not a bowl of peas, but pea protein products put into burgers that taste like meat and have the same texture. So we don't actually know, like in our brain, that we're missing out.
Yep.
I also eat lots of nuts, and nuts are really filling. and they're high in good fats.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason that you do it
Beans.
is because you feel better inside yourself. It's not for the nutritional value, I'm sure.
Actually, shall I tell you how I first got into this diet?
Yeah.
It wasn't actually for ethical reasons, to be honest. I first got into this diet because I suffer from a condition called endometriosis. Have you heard of it? Endometriosis.
No,
It's where the womb doesn't stick to the womb. It grows on your bowel. It grows on your
Is it painful?
bladder. It's unbelievably painful.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
And I soon learned. I thought, right, what are my options? I can have my womb removed. Didn't want that. I can go on some dodgy drugs for the rest of my life that send me loopy and make me very fat and hairy.
Yeah.
Or I can change my diet. Those are the options. So overnight, I changed my diet for health reasons. I went from being in pain 24 hours a day, every day,
very healthy,
back
I must say.
pain.
You look very
Thank
happy
you.
and healthy, yeah, very
To 2 weeks later, I started to feel better. 6 weeks later, I was in no pain.
Really?
I suffer pain about 4 hours a month now. Endometriosis.
Yeah, on a stressful day or whatever.
So, no, obviously monthly cycle,
Oh, right, of
obviously,
course,
yeah.
sorry, yeah.
So it's very painful around that time of the month. You can't really avoid that. But otherwise, I'd be looking at and even taking Nurofen 4 times a day wouldn't have cut out the pain. You have no. If you have endometriosis and don't do anything about it, you have no life.
Yeah,
you
of
have
course.
zero life.
Chronic
You can't
pain.
even leave the house. You can't even stand up. You've got back pain.
Yeah,
It's awful. And some women have to end up having.
Let me ask you another question then, right? Because that's a very inspiring way to recruit someone like
It is,
me.
isn't it?
It's
It
very
is.
inspiring. But I must
And
ask
by
you,
the way, I feel younger and better as a result of it.
oh, you look young to me. You should be concerned with age. Not yet at all.
I'm probably older than you think.
Really?
A lot older.
Really? How old is that? How old is that?
50.
You're 50?
Yeah.
Well, you don't look 50 at all. Okay, congratulations. I probably look older than you. Anyway, so with this, what would be your ideal scenario then? If you could take your power and your heart and you had the reins of the government's economic policy, what would be the first step that you would do to really fundamentally take the first giant leap into a better world for these animals? The simplest, quickest thing you can think of. Nothing too. Nothing.
It's hard because
we won't hold you to your word. You can be emotional. Just tell me what you would like to see.
because it's not just on the onus of the government, is it? It's on the onus of everyone.
Yeah.
So we can't just point a finger at the government.
Everyone's listening to you. What would you do?
The government.
Everyone's listening.
It's the government. So if the government, I honestly think it's gradually doing this and educating people and then telling them what their choices are, because a lot of people don't think they have many choices or the choices are very limited. Education, gradually enough people will then start to not want to put animals on their plate.
But then
And then the government.
Yeah, so all these animals.
I'll tell you what I do.
They were managed.
I've just
weren't
thought
they?
something. Tell you what I do.
Populations were managed.
I would encourage the government to create a scheme that could convert dairy farmers and meat farmers into some other arable farming.
Yeah, like almond milling and all that.
The peas. And give them some incentive and some tools to do that.
Is that with any industry, there's always leftovers. So with farming or even cotton picking, there's bits of leftovers here, and usually all of those leftovers, they get fed to the cattle to bring prices into the cattle on the farm. So all the byproducts of farming, like all the chaff off the wheat and all that other stuff that usually get put into landfill because it's not, things like that, they get fed.
Eating hay and things like that.
Well, yeah, there's lots more than that. There's like biodiesel, they feed the animals and all sorts of different things to reduce the price of food. Otherwise, food would be a lot more expensive. It's only the way that the economy is run right now, with all the byproducts being fed back into the animals, and farms are so efficient with what they waste, that if we did change to not having any animals on a farm, there would be a huge amount of waste from the production of vegetables for plates. And that's my only concern, is that the economy would crash as a result. That's my only concern, and then that economy would stagger onto young children in single mother homes who can't feed themselves now.
My dad used
That's
to
all
be,
I-
my
that-
dad
that's
used
my
to work
argument.
in animal feed. He was a pig farmer, and then he was in animal nutrition, and he used to make animal feed.
Yep.
And they didn't put all the good stuff in the crap from vegetables. They put a load of shit in, and a lot of animals ended up eating sawdust.
Yeah.
In their food.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying, as a human being, and with us being responsible for lots of damage to the countryside and stuff like that through irrigation and stuff like that. These crops need to have pesticides on them to look after these crops. So the actual ecological damage of your strategy may unbeknown to you all, create a catastrophe out there
Well,
where
we
people.
need to develop. The pesticides thing is another argument, isn't it?
Because you must have control of farming.
There are good alternatives.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We have to discuss it another time. But thank you so much for your time. My name's Filippo. Check out his card that I gave him.
Your name's what?
Filippo.
right,
Filippo
hello.
Walker. Not start online.
Well,
I haven't got
anyway,
any cards
if
left.
you've taken anything, I hope you can at least
Your
give
story,
these pea protein babies
I'll be
a try,
thinking
and
about
you will
it.
feel so much better and younger. And
Yeah.
you look younger as well.
Yeah, oh, thanks. Cheers, yeah. Thank you very much anyway, yeah. Thank you. Make sure you check out the channel on YouTube, Nots Online. Thank you.